Welcome you all. In this session we are going to discuss in detail about the interrupts in 8051 microcontroller. Expected outcomes: after successful completion of the session, the student would able to explain the interrupt structure in 8051 microcontroller. Interrupts. An interrupt is an external or internal event that disturbs the microcontroller to inform it that the device needs its service. So it's the process of asynchronous process of communication with the controller. We call them as interrupt. The process which associated with interrupts are called interrupt service routine. So after getting an interrupt condition, what the processor does, the things we call them as interrupt service routine or the interrupt handler. Upon receiving the interrupt signal, microcontroller finishes the current instruction and saves the program counter on stack, jumps to the fixed location in memory depending on the type of interrupt, and execute the interrupt service routine until upon executing the inter-service routine, the controller returns back to the position by pop the content in stack. So initially when it switch over to the service routine, it shows the address where it left in the stack. So the push operation is performed there, and here in order to retrieve the address back, the pop operation is performed. So the 8051 controller have 5 interrupt in addition to reset. They are timer 0 overflow interrupt, timer 1 overflow interrupt, external interrupt 0, external interrupt 1, serial port events, buffer full, buffer empty, etc. Each interrupt has a specified place in code memory where the program execution begins. External interrupt 0, here the corresponding address is 0003H. Timer 0 overflow, the address is 000B. External interrupt 1, the address is 0013, and timer 1 overflow, the address is 001B. Serial interrupt is 0023. So these are the address. Interrupt enabled register. So how and which interrupt is enabled has been identified with the help of this bit addressable register. So here you can see EA, ET2, ES, ET1, EX1, ET0 and EX0. So each bit represents each thing. So here EA represents, so it is global enable or disable pin. So ET2 is enable disable timer 2, ET1 enable disable timer 1, ES is enable disable serial port interrupt, EX1 is external interrupt 1, EXT0 is timer 0 overflow interrupt, EX0 is in external interrupt 0. So this is how it identifies which type of interrupt is occurred to the system. Interrupt priority register. So once the controller gets more than one interrupt, so then the priority wise it serves. So the maximum priority will be served first, and the minimum priority or the minimum priority will be served at the last. Okay, this is the order in which the controller serves. So here you can see IP7. So if for each pins will be there except 2 pins, all are bit addressable, whereas the pin 6 and 7 both are reserved. Here pin 5, which shows IP5, the timer 2 interrupt priority bit, IP4 serial port interrupt priority bit, IP3 timer 1 interrupt priority bit, and here if it is 1 the priority will be setted, if it is 0 it won't be setted. Thank you.